the argument generally made to disarm the public is, well, it was meant to have a well-armed militia to back the government. True. But if your government itself becomes corrupt, how are you going to defend yourself and your country if you are disarmed by your government before you get the chance? Think about it. Think about it. That's what I'm saying. But beyond thinking about it, I'm telling you straight up, you're going to lose this election for us. You're going to lose this election. None of us are thrilled with Biden. He's having trouble putting his words together. You know, with Nikki Haley's meteoric rise, if they very well, if they're smart, the GOP is going to put Trump in prison and get Nikki Haley in there, and then she's going to federally ban abortions. They're going to wreak all kinds of havoc. Do not trust the sheep in the wolves' clothes. Just because she's the lesser evil to Trump, she's still a human rights evil for progressives and liberals, and we don't need that. So, the issue we come to, two issues: abortion and guns. We've got most of the GOP agreeing with us on abortion. It's just the right-wingers controlling things because of the layout of the Electoral College and the setup of the House and the Senate right now. It's just those fruitcakes that aren't on board with abortions for rape and incest and things, at least not a federal ban like Nikki Haley's going to do. But what they're not, what the GOP will never, ever, ever, and not only them, the moderate and the swing votes for the most part, at least the gun-owning ones like me, are not going to swing. I'm going to vote Democratic. But I'm so disgusted with the stance on guns right now and everyone blaming guns instead of mental health. And the GOP jumps on the mental health, so we're supposed to hate the topic because that's what they're saying. But we know that they're bastardizing it too and making this mental health be the only issue. Well, keeping guns out of the hands of those who shouldn't have them, yeah, that should be a priority. But we all know damn well they're going to have them. And I'm in Kansas City right now. I live in Kansas City more than half the time now. Sweet Survivor is based out of Kansas City. And I just released my CD, previously recorded CD, but just released it online, like about less than a month ago. And it takes almost a month to get to iTunes, which it did. So I was working on this video chronicling the Chiefs' rise, thinking that would be a good accompaniment to the song Prairie Song, which is on A Bed for My Boots, my CD. And so I did not go to the rally. I was all dressed and ready to go to the rally, but my knee is screwed up and I was like, this is a bad idea and I can see it on TV really well. So I was wrapping up my video to put behind Prairie Song with final footage, and we all know what happened. The two drunk people with guns pulled them out, got in a fight, and one of them pulled the gun almost immediately. Just almost immediately pulled a gun and started shooting. Then other people pulled guns. There was multiple gunfire. At least two, I think there might have been 3 or 4. I think there was at least 3. It's all confusing. They figured out who killed Lisa Lopez Galvan, our local DJ, mother of 2. So, all this, instead of wanting to take the guns away, I'm using this as an example, okay? You're not going to stop people who want to carry a gun, who don't have the right to, like these two. They weren't legally allowed to carry a gun, but they did, and they're going to. And you're not going to get them off the streets here. So even if we didn't have to worry about the government, you're not going to get guns off the streets in America. It's not going to happen. So do you want to fight that fight? Is that the hill you want to die on and hand it all back over to Trump and crazy right-wingers that are even forcing the moderately sane amongst the GOP to either bail or coerce, admitting openly that they're afraid of what Trump will do to them? That's the real world. My dad used to say, and I'm going to quote him, he used to say, I mean, he was a minister and a peace-loving man and an activist, but he said, the world is not going to lay down their arms just because you do. When it's like, you know, Elf, the scene where he's like, does anyone need a hug? Or someone need a hug? Right? And the raccoon like jumps on and says, ah! That's what you're inviting. We're not going to all sit around and sing Kumbaya together if we lay down our arms. What we are going to need to do is work in increments to keep guns out of the hands of the people we can as much as possible. And you do you, but I wouldn't dream of not having home protection. I wouldn't dream of it. And only recently have I given carry consideration. So, where I'm going with that, back to the top, Chiefs Rally shooting. If you do carry a gun, then realize that you're a designated driver. You don't carry a gun when you're going to go out and drink copiously. Yes, I understand carrying a gun to a nightclub. Lots of shootings happen in nightclubs. I even understand carrying it to a rally. But if I were ever, and if you are ever, carrying a gun, then you can't get drunk. At the bare minimum. That's a huge responsibility. I mean, I have 3 sons, and when they got their driver's licenses, I was like, congratulations, you've been given permission to drive a bomb that can kill yourself and other people. That's what you've just been given at 16 years old. Use it wisely. I like to hope for the best, but push the worst case scenario, you know, because you need to know what can happen. And so don't drink and drive, don't drink and shoot, don't drink and boat. Basically, drinking is a fun thing to do all by itself. I even have learned the hard way, don't drink and dance, depending on the level of both. So just wanted to throw that public service message out to you. Don't lose the election for us. Don't do that. Don't lose the goddamn election for us because you hate guns. Guns don't kill people. People kill people. People shoot guns. And bad guys are always going to get them. With 1 million people coming in to downtown Kansas City, you really think you can set up metal detectors and stop 1 million people from gathering? But should the answer be we can't gather? Our children are terrified? No. So common sense needs to prevail. I am going to go on and do the video to Prairie Song. I keep saying that. It's almost finished, like I said. It's really just a matter of what I've decided to do is any money made on the Prairie Song is going to be donated to Lisa Lopez Galvan's family. She's the DJ that lost her life. And by lost, I mean had it stolen, taken from her by punks who don't know that you don't drink and conceal carry. So anyway, this is my CD. It's called A Bed for My Boots. It's backwards because I'm not going to flip it. Jessica Rigney, shout out for doing the artwork. But the Prairie Song on here, and all credits to everybody, is at lindagifford.bandzoogle. No, yeah, lindagifford.bandzoogle.com/home. That's a lot. I had lindagifford.com, and I decided to switch it to lindakgifford.com. So I dropped lindagiffer.com, and within 2 days, an Asian sex ring bought my name. And you know my whole life's work is Sweet Survivor, and that I am a CSA survivor, and that I fight to help save people, both